What is up, Bucs fans? We are back. We're live here on a Monday. It's a kind of a consistent theme here for Buccaneers fans and just the Buccaneers in general. Things are definitely snowballing, even though Todd Bowles doesn't want to say they are. We've lost the last 6 of 7, and the Buccaneers lose again yesterday, 27-20. Just a lot of the same things that keep on occurring. And personally, I don't think it's going to change. We're going to discuss it, and we're going to talk about, just overall what is the state of this franchise moving forward, and do they have an opportunity to win some games here down the stretch? I mean, yeah, the 7th overall pick, but you're also one game out of first, so that just tells you how crazy this season has been for the Buccaneers. But I'm your host, Michael Plus, and join as always my co-host Mark Ramirez. Uh, Guys, welcome in, join the show, bring your comments, bring your questions. We appreciate all the support. But Mark, I mean, what's your thoughts of this game? I know you were texting me a lot during, especially the first half. I was in and out, so I didn't really watch the game live. I was getting, obviously feedback from Mark here, just telling me this and that, and then a lot of just good, and then it was bad, and then it was good, and then a lot more bad.
Yeah. Overall, the offense started off hot, doing the
Yeah.
right things, throwing the ball 3 consecutive times, and then they started opening up the run.
Right.
If you looked only at that first drive, you're like, okay, damn, this team's pretty good. They get to the 1 inch yard line and then can't punch it in.
Yeah.
Baker gets hurt on the butt push
Mm-hmm.
somehow, some way, and potentially has a high ankle sprain or whatever the hell he has. Likely he's going to play because he's going to grit it through it, but he's going to lose probably the biggest facet of his game that makes him, when he is dangerous, dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put in Kyle Trask, first play, flag, bring him back 5 yards. Second play, you run it. Of course, goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Third play, tries to corner the end zone, just misses it to Chris Godwin. So end up kicking a field goal. So that's potentially what the Bucs season is on offense. They do enough to get you excited, and then they can't finish. They can't
Mm-hmm.
score when you really need it. And
Yeah.
it's upsetting. It's annoying. You got Rashad White going over 100 yards, right at 100 yards, but it means nothing because you lose a game 27-20.
Mm-hmm.
You hold all your timeouts yet again. Don't even think about using those, but let's give the silver lining that we're 1 game out of first place instead of admitting that the snowball is truly in a massive effect because you can barely even compete against teams that are mediocrity at its
Mm-hmm.
finest. Gardner Minshew, Jonathan Taylor, yeah, he's just getting back into it because of his contract stuff. Michael Pittman Jr. was your big number one wide receiver. This is embarrassing for a defensive coach. Your defense just let up pretty much anything they wanted in between the 20s. The just
Mm-hmm.
ball just kept moving and moving. We kept saying how there's all these breakdowns. Oh, we do it in practice all the time. Clearly, practice isn't working. Either the voice isn't working or you don't have the right guys. You can't switch them in. It's it's a total wash of a season, and I almost don't want them to improve because I don't want to see the same crap next year. And as a fan base, I think that's what you're feeling, and you don't see any corrections being made. You don't see a silver lining. You don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. Light at the end of the tunnel is Todd Bowles being fired, and we move on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I think they're putting too much emphasis on the mediocrity of the NFC South. Like, because NFC South is so bad, we are forgetting to look ourselves truly in the mirror and hold guys accountable for how bad the play has been on our side of things, especially defensively, and then offensively. It's the same mistakes that are holding this team back. You have inconsistencies at the quarterback position, inconsistencies at receiver and tight end, pretty much across the board. Inconsistencies with the play calling and the sequencing, which is hurting the offense as well. And then defensively, you don't know what you are or who you're supposed to be as far as identity. You play aggressive one week and it looks like it works, even though Tennessee is an absolute disaster. Like, they're not a good football team either.
Didn't they beat
But
the Panthers? Didn't they?
yeah, they just beat the Panthers.
Oh, we're gonna
So
lose to them tomorrow or this week.
so yeah, so I mean, yeah, facing the Panthers this week, it should be a win that should help you, um, get to 5-7, and then you have the game at the end of the year against the Panthers and Carolina. So those should be victories, but again, we can't guarantee anything with this team right now because it's always, okay, one good play here, 2 steps forward, and then it's 5 steps back. And that's just how the season is going. And I think it was Bill Parcells that said, your record is who you are, and this team is 4-7, and that's what they are. They're an average to below average football team right now. And that's all you can say about it. I mean, there has to be a new direction coming. And I think when you look at these teams across the league, we talked about it, head coach and quarterback, you got to have that right combination. That marriage has to be legit. We had it with Bruce Arians and obviously Tom Brady. That worked. And I think that's something that you have to strive for to get going forward. I think that you got to find the head coach, the right head coach. That's going to be key. And then obviously you go and see what you can do at the quarterback position.
I mean, I agree to that in some shape or form, but I don't fully agree with it because, I mean, if you think about it, BA was the coach, but he wasn't calling plays. Leftwich was the one calling plays. That whole system was Brady being the greatest quarterback and then Hall of Famers all around him. I've said that multiple times. Probably Nick Foles wins with that roster too.
Yeah.
It's just what it was.
Well, my point is the right head coach to lead the whole team. You have to find a guy that can bring the team together, and that was Bruce Arians. He brought the team together. Obviously, you need a good quarterback to maximize, your potential of the team, I think. And, a good head coach, a good staff, that makes the quarterback better, right? We're seeing that with Lamar Jackson. We're seeing that with Jalen Hurts. We're seeing it across the board. Even the Colts were doing it with Anthony Richardson before he got hurt. CJ Stroud, perfect example, right coach, right coordinator, right quarterback with Stroud. So all those things factor in. But we need to find the right guy at that head coach that can lead the team, because right now there's no leader at the top. There's no accountability. And that's something that has to be found. And that's what you had with BA. He was a leader. He knew how to push the right buttons. And right now, no buttons are being pushed. We're not even calling timeouts. So, that's a big issue right there.
We're throwing a challenge flag when your best player says throw the flag because I caught the ball.
Right.
But that is the epitome of what this team has been. It's been so inconsistent. You get things going, and then you shoot yourself in the foot, either by a flag, a fumble, a drop pass. It's the only thing that's been consistent has been bad.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and if your offense starts going, your defense starts getting worse. And the defense, honestly, has gotten worse since game 1 to now.
Yeah.
Like, there's been no improvements. There's been no changes. Yeah, you did one good game against the Titans where you sent in the house, and then now you're just – and don't give me the crap that Levante David wasn't in there. Okay, good. Right. Devin White, show that you're capable of earning that $20 million that you want and show us that you can control a defense. No, you didn't do jack shit. Clearly, it's Levante David that is the mind, the brain, the unison of that defense in the middle. Clearly not Devin White. He didn't even do anything. Didn't even record a stat. I think the only thing everyone sees of him in that game, I know he got a couple. He had 7 tackles, 4 solos, 1 QB hit. And just the lack of using him in the ways that he needs to be used upsets me as well. It's just there's nothing that's been correct. Or you get a gimme interception by probably your most consistent player in defense, Antoine Winfield Jr., and you drop it. Like it's just one of those years where you're just like, you know what? It was bad last year. You hoped a breath of fresh air of an offense would get there, and it went to shit. And it's not necessarily – you can almost see that it was writing on the wall. No one wanted the offensive coordinator job. It went through 9 to 11 candidates. After Todd Monken got the Baltimore job, Canales said, "Oh, he's got it. Do you mind if I get this one?" And it was almost like he was gifted the job. Yes, I think in the future he will be a much better play caller, but he's just learning so much on the go. The system does work. He's learning so much on the go. He doesn't have anything of an interior offensive line to get it to his running game to work, so he's very one-dimensional. And then you got guys dropping the ball left and right when you're throwing the balls. And then your quarterback, gets stuck on one read. It's just so many things
Yeah.
that are just going wrong, and they don't have answers to fix them.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Baker, as proud of I am as far as like him exceeding expectations, I think he's done a pretty good job, especially with what he's been given. It's tough because Baker already is a limited player. He just that's what he is. I mean, he just doesn't have the vision. He sticks on reads a little too long, as we're seeing. Runs into sacks when he can't get it, when he can't escape. Early in the season he was escaping a lot of sacks. This time he's just not. He's not getting it done. He's running into sacks instead of making those extended plays. They did do a good job of getting him outside the pocket yesterday. I wish they would have done a little bit more because that's where he is, I think, at his best when he's outside the pocket. He just doesn't win enough from inside the pocket enough, just because he doesn't see it quite as quickly as he needs to, or sees where the ball should go. Like there's a lot of times where guys are open and he's just not hitting where it should go. Instead of trying to force it to Mike Evans, he did that yesterday, interception. So, but then again, when he makes the right read and the right pass, the guys are dropping it. So it's like do it's damn if you do, yeah, damn if you don't. So it's unfortunate for him because I really do like Baker as a person. I think he is a good leader. I think teammates respect him. He's a warrior. Obviously playing on a bum ankle yesterday. I don't know if it's a high ankle sprain. It looked like it was because where he got hit, but they're saying it's just sore. So we'll see. He'll probably play this week. But yeah, I mean, it starts there with the inconsistencies from him. And then obviously, offensive line inconsistencies with the run game. And then guys just not, helping him out at times as well. So there's a lot of things there that are just not working. And then defensively, when you're always behind, because they can't get stops, that hurts you too.
Yeah, and just the one interception, I know it was just one, but that one interception was bad.
It was bad. Yeah.
It all around.
And he almost had another one to Payne Durham. Payne Durham stole it from the guy.
That was a hell of a catch, though.
Hell of a catch. Yeah, great catch. You got to give Payne Durham credit on that one. He definitely stole it and took it. And other than that, I thought he made good decisions. There was just, taking the sacks. You got to get rid of the ball faster on some of those plays, and he just couldn't do it. But so you got to give the credit to the Colts defense as well.
In that fashion, like you said it yourself, Tristan Wirfs looked like he was playing hurt too because
he didn't have a good game.
One sack, he literally just got bull rushed. Like I've never seen him get bull rushed, and the guy was not way bigger or anything, not a power guy, Ibukam.
Yeah.
Not a power guy. And just literally bull rush the crap out of Wirfs. No excuse, but that does not happen often. And then some of them, all these sacks were after his injury. So he's not really pushing off that leg that fast or getting out too fast, probably looking for deep shots too long. So it's not necessarily all on him. Injury is going to take its effect. And then if your interior line can't do anything so you can step up, oops. That's all you can say. You had DeForest Buckner in the middle of that defensive line. They're not going to be able to hold him back, and they just couldn't.
I agree with this by Al Bundy. He says Baker can't play with progression. I think Canales has to help him here, and I think on some plays he did where he rolled him out, gave him the high-low reads. I think that's where he's effective. And yeah, I mean, I think he is locking too much on Mike. Mike is obviously option number one, but yeah, you have to mix it in and get Godwin there to get him open up as well, because he was open on a few plays where Baker's just looking at Mike instead of, going to the other options. So those are things where you got to definitely help your quarterback out. And that has to be within the system. So those are some things that, again, are just not happening because of the youth of, the OC.
I mean, that's part of what we're getting, right? He's never called it ever. And that's why, like, the Glazers are probably watching from afar saying, okay, well, they're writing their own pink slip right now. Like, yes, we gave you the opportunity to pick your offensive coordinator. This is who you picked. They're honestly doing better than your defense is right now. And you've been here for how long? You should have the keys to turn knobs to get things to work. It's not going. And that's why we've been talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. When is Todd Bowles going to get fired? Blah, blah, blah. They just don't make I mean, Leftwich should have been fired immediately last year.
Mhm.
Almost like after the Panthers game, should have been gone. The first Panthers game.
Yeah.
And
And that's more so on the head coach. He has that decision to make.
yeah,
I don't think the Glazers.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the Glazers would make that call.
In general, like they usually do not
Right.
make that decision until the end of the season, right? Or
Yeah, and like we.
season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we were discussing earlier before we jumped on here, um, they're gonna let the train crash. You know,
Mhm.
if it's continuing, if you're just continuing to do what you're doing, obviously they're gonna try to win games, no doubt. But if you're gonna continue to make the same mistakes week in, week out, the losses will continue. And that's likely what's going to happen. The snowball is definitely happening. I don't know what Todd Bowles is talking about there. It's occurring. Like you lost the last 6 of your 7 games. There's no signs of it stopping right now. There's no magical switch that is going to take place to get these guys to understand what they have to do and start playing better. Like it's just, I don't see anywhere. Ryan Jensen isn't coming in, to save us at center, or a defensive player isn't going to be signed or whatever. So it's just not going to happen. And it's unfortunate. So they'll probably end up, 6, maybe 7 wins max. That's where I see it heading. And obviously Todd Bowles will be let go, and we'll be looking for a new head coach. And, that will be, I guess, something to look forward to, guys. We'll have a lot of videos on that. We'll try to put some videos out of like coaches and do some profiles and stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of talk about Ben Johnson. Yeah, I think he's one of the names to look for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still talking about them.
Yeah.
And another comment he made, oh, we're writing every game or right there.
Yeah.
You don't every game you're usually down though. You're not really in the lead most of these games. You're usually down trying to claw your way back. Like the 49ers game, they probably let you in the game because they were just playing soft zone, just do whatever the hell you want to do. This game, you're down 2 possessions multiple times. It's 20-27. You only lost by a touchdown. Ooh. But still, like, you were down, 17-27 at one point, 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And you couldn't do anything. Like it. No, you're at the very end. It looks closer than what it is. But really, the culture is playing not to lose. They're just like, okay, just you can get your little yards. You're just not going to score because your offense isn't good enough in the red zone. Can't score at the 1 inch yard line, so we're not scared of you doing it again, right? So
yeah, exactly.
It's just a mess all over.
Yeah, I want to bring this up. Flash Gordon talking about Jason Light not finding a coach. I think there has to be context there. So Jason Light was brought here by Lovie Smith. That was the greatest move Lovie Smith ever made. So Jason Light, I think we both can say we trust fully. He has a great staff, a great front office staff. He's done a heck of a job with managing the salary cap, also good contracts, and finding talent. I mean, he's done a good job of finding players, throughout the years. So I don't think he's an issue. And you also have to look at who he's hired. Dirk Cutter, again, that was a Glazer decision for Jameis Winston. So it's not his call. The one coach that he has hired, Bruce Arians, and they won a championship. So that's a good deal. And then Todd Bowles, I don't think he wanted to proceed with Todd Bowles, but they were so late into the process. Bruce Arians made the decision late in the process, March 30th. So you didn't really have time. The hiring process was already over. So you didn't have time to go out and interview guys or, prepare. So Todd Bowles was kind of just a agreement, a thank you because of what Bruce Arians brought and obviously a championship. So they gave Todd Bowles an opportunity, and obviously they thought continuity would work and see what would happen, but it didn't. And obviously Tom Brady coming back, that changed things. So I think Jason, will be, thorough in who he goes out and try to find as far as a new head coach. And I think he could definitely get the job done.
I mean, look what he did. Didn't he go out and hire a firm to find the coach? This is the same firm that found Andy Reid for the Chiefs. They measure everything out. He's very analytical.
Yeah.
What do you know? You're using analytics to make a decision.
Right.
But that's how they determined who would be the best option for your team. Does he do that again? I mean, we don't even know if he's fired yet, which is most likely is.
Yeah.
but you would assume he would do that. I would
Yeah.
assume that based off of Jason Light taking care of the financials of the team, doing everything the Glazers have asked him to do, he would stay. But you never know. They could totally clean house. You just don't
Mhm.
know. But if
Yeah.
you think of guys like talent wise that he's brought in, you can't get
Yeah.
mad at it. He's brought in so much. Look at even this draft right now. Canty's tied for the most tackles for loss among rookies.
Yeah.
Um, you got Servassier Dennis, who's potentially going to hopefully take over for Devin White in that vacancy there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
Yeah.
mean, people are getting mad at Cody Mock, but I mean, I think give him time. He's gotten better every game. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Kappa wasn't what he was in his last year here, his first season. He looked pretty damn bad that first year too. So you
Yeah.
gotta give guys time to get better. I mean, overall, that he just brings in talent left and right. It just has to be used correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, yeah, exactly. And Brutal as Bucks, great point here. I think you're going to get your wish. I think Baker and Todd will probably not be back next season. Yeah, I mean it hasn't been good for either of them. I think Baker has had his moments, but again, it's just been too up and down for the offense as a whole. And he's the quarterback of the offense, and yes, a lot of things falls on his shoulders, but that's the nature of the game. QB has to be that consistent piece you can look at and raise the play of others around him, and just hasn't happened. So with that said, I think they're going to be moving on, and we'll see, what this new direction means. Obviously, with a new head coach coming in, he's going to want his own quarterback. He's going to want, you know, new things as far as what the, player personnel, all that stuff. So that will make it a wild off season for sure. But yeah, you're talking about the Bears and the Vikings.
Fancy football talk.
Yep. And that was I mean, we probably won't talk about that. I was gonna bring up like a potential door number two in Justin Fields, but we'll probably save that for another time. I just think that could be an option if they don't want to draft a quarterback. But let's get back on track to this game. It was just, again, a lot of the same things. First half, what did we end up first half wise? 10 points
Yep.
for offense. We allowed 20 on defense. So yeah, just a lot of things just stopped ourselves. Again, Bucks beat Bucks. 3 and outs on offense. Defensively couldn't get stops when they needed to, and it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Like the interception, everyone's going to talk on that. Yes, it was one pass, but it was one really bad read.
Yeah.
But you see some of the reads he would do. Like that first drive, you're like, oh, if this is what they're going to do, they're going to score 30 easy.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, it just changes. And I was like,
Yeah.
what is going on? And yeah, like you just get frustrated with it. Then you have Trey Palmer dropping easy big conversions. Like
Yeah.
you said with the sacks, we took way too many sacks this time. Yes, the
Right.
ankle, but that
Yeah.
puts you in poor down and distance decisions. Even though you had a lot of running yards, it was mainly off of one big chunk play. I think it was like 130 something, 38-yard run.
Yeah.
You got maybe 40% of your yards in one play. So it wasn't like it was consistent throughout the game, even though that first drive, they were making things happen, making things move. And then I don't know if it's a momentum shift. I don't know if it's their morale, what the hell it is, but it's sad to see how bad it gets. And then there's no switch that gets turned on for them to go, let's go do this. How you saw like Tom Brady did. I'm not going to throw it all on the quarterback, but that's just kind of how it is. Too many damn drop passes, too much lack of execution. And the red zone don't get me started.
Yeah, the red zone is definitely an issue. Especially that first drive, couldn't score. You get 3, and then I think the Mike Evans touchdown came late in the second quarter. So
that was a perfect design play too.
That was a good play. Yeah, you're scheming a guy open, he's wide open. Mike actually catches the ball this time when he's open, so that was good. And then later in the game, in the second half, again, another great play where they roll Baker out. I like that. You have a nice corner route to Mike Evans. He hits them in the end zone there for the touchdown. But yeah, just too many inconsistencies, and I didn't like the decisions by the coaching staff to not go for it more on fourth down, especially when you're inside the 10-yard line and you have opportunities to get touchdowns instead of field goals. I would have liked to see them you got to be aggressive in this league. I think that's the one common theme I'm seeing around the league is guys are being aggressive with their decision making. Look at the Colts yesterday. They went for it on fourth down 4 times, I believe, and they converted 3 times. I know those are like 4th and 5 or less, but again, being aggressive, going for points, that was the difference yesterday. They converted on fourth down and they got touchdowns because of it. So that helps. And then it doesn't help when your defense just gives up the run game like they did yesterday. I mean, 160 yards on the ground, something like that. That you can't do. And a lot of that is probably Levante not being there. Guys just not filling their gaps, guys not being where they're supposed to be. So that's definitely a detriment for the team.
There you go. So
yeah,
155 yards.
Yep.
Turn this crap off for you.
I mean, just look at the averages. Over 6 yards a carry. That's not good. I mean, even Rachaad White, he had over 6 yards a carry. But again, like you said, a lot of that was the long of 38 right there. Just not good. Not enough to affect Gardner Minshew, even though he didn't have a great day. 251 yards, only 6 yards per pass. Not great. But
what's bad is we got a lot of pressure in. There was times
we did, yeah.
Like he's running around. We only come up with 2 sacks. What is the secondary doing? Like, where's the communication there? And don't tell me, because Dean's out. That's I mean, Michael Pittman gets, I think it was 10 catches, 107. Yeah. It's only 10 yards a catch. It's like he was getting big chunks. And then this is just the most biggest blown assignment there. 4th down, let's just chuck this thing to the tight end. It just, like I'm saying, like you can't get a consistent offense going. Your defense is just deteriorating left and right. Is it because Levante's out? Don't get me wrong. Like, system is a system. You have better players that can play it better, but still, you have an assignment. You're assignment based. Do your job. That's all it is. And the line was all there. It's guys covering now. You don't get some pressure in one game, and then you're. Well, I don't think the secondary has been good damn near all season.
They've been really bad. Yeah, it hasn't been good. I mean, and like you said, guys doing their job, which they're not. Not being in the right spots, not matching pressure with coverage. That's been an issue. Not getting off the field on 3rd down. There's just too many inconsistencies on defense, and then the same thing on offense. So there's no complementary football. So that's a huge issue. And then when you add to the coaching decisions that are the wrong ones, that just makes it more, compound and more. It makes it worse. It makes the situation digress, and not good, and not in a good way.
Here's another funny thing. Carlton Davis's interception could have been a pick 6. Easily just walk in.
He just falls on his feet.
I was like, what the hell are we doing? Like, like missed points. I'm not going to get mad at that, but it's not why we lost the game. It's a whole lot more thing. I can't believe Trey Palmer's drop. That blew me away.
Yeah. But I think we scored anyway on that Carlton Davis pick. I think that was the Mike Evans, I believe. Maybe not. I don't know. But
turnover.
Yeah. So, it's really frustrating just talking about the same things week in, week out for this team. And it comes back to the same mistakes, which is unfortunate. But for the positives, I think Rachaad White is playing really well. I like how his game is maturing. I think he's playing really hard. He's doing a lot of good things. I think, offensive line, I think there's a lot of potential there with Tristan Wirfs, obviously, who, again, he just had a bad game yesterday, and that's going to happen. And we could say, it's the bum ankle, which it probably could be. But again, that's no excuse. If you're out there, you got to play well, right? I think Luke Gedeke, again, is still a solid cornerstone for us at right tackle. And then you have Cody Mock, who, not everyone loves, but I think he's going to develop it and get into that, Alex Kappa mold where he's going to be consistent at least. And then you just got to find a center and a guard, right?
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, center and a guard. That's going to be key. And then, tight end room, Kate Otten, nice number 2 tight end. I just don't think he's a number 1. And then receivers, you have Godwin, who I think is still a legit guy you can count on. Mike Evans, will he be back? We don't know. Trey Palmer, up in the air, you got to catch the ball. Like that's your job. You got to catch the ball. So yeah, definitely there's going to be a lot of things that this team needs, like as far as positions, like you got to add to the piece of the puzzle.
But again, it's not necessarily a massive talent issue. If
No.
there was better coaching, you'd be able to hide your weaknesses with the strengths. But
Yeah.
they're not doing that consistently. And you'll see it on certain drives where like, how the hell they score so easily? And it was not when they're down 20, it's when they're actually in the game, they move it, and then all of a sudden they go to somewhere else. It's almost like they're out overthinking it on offense at times.
Yeah.
Or it is still the shooting yourself in the foot. Defensively, there is no reason to be playing the way they are. There's talent all over that defense. And it's either just bonehead, dumb guys not understanding where to be, or just lack of execution. That's all it is. It's either just not knowing what the hell I'm doing, or when it's the plays there to be made, not making it. And that's troubling for the most, I guess, how would you say this? Veteran riddled defense you could think of. And I know based off injuries or some of them are down, but it don't matter. A lot of these guys have been playing in it for so damn long. They should know. And Shaq Barrett most likely is going to be gone at the end of the season. Anthony Nelson, someone was saying about take that cut. Because if you have Yaya Diaby and Marquise Watts and hopefully bring up
you still have JTS for under contract. He'll be there. I think he's still a very good number 2 edge rusher. He's just not a number 1. And it'd be nice to see him rush the quarterback more. If they let him rush, he actually does do some things. He got a sack yesterday.
Like the way they used him in that sack too.
Right. Right. So, I mean, yeah, you look at it there from a defensive line standpoint, I think they have a lot of good pieces. It's just, like you said, finding the right coaching, finding the right schemes to maximize these guys' talent. I think a big piece that is missing, and this was a good point by Pew Report earlier, it's the absence of Ndamukong Suh and JPP. I think those guys just brought a certain fire and like leadership, like making guys afraid to mess up. Like holding them accountable. Like if you don't do your job, then we're gonna make sure you don't play. Like it's kind of like that. And I think that leadership is missing in the locker room. You look at our captains, I think even though they are good captains and they're captains by example, I just don't think they have that fire, that guy that kicks you in the ass type of leader. You had that with Sue, you had that with JPP, you had that with Tom Brady, obviously, because everyone feared Tom, when you mess up, like you just didn't want to mess up for that guy. And I think that's something that's missing.
Because you can feel winners. You can understand, holy shit, their passion of wanting to do better and get in there. And then proof is in the pudding. Tom won everywhere he went. So clearly, if he's yelling, you're doing something wrong. It's not him that's wrong. It's you. Right? It's one of those situations. But yeah, I agree with you because Vita Vea is just a calm spirit, but massive body. Right. So he's not going to be yelling in anyone's face. He's just going to say, do your job, guys.
Yeah. Levante's not going to do it.
Yeah. They're all quiet leaders. And then you have Devin White as your big time leader. And he's not the he's not the best lead by example.
Right.
Guy, right.
So who's listening to him, and Antoine Winfield, I think he when he speaks, obviously guys listen. But I think he's just, again, him and like Tristan Wirfs, they just have that kind of positive. It's not getting in the guys' faces and like understanding this is what you need to do type of thing. And again, those guys are doing their job, so you can't really fault them. It's the other guys that are just not picking it up, being accountable, continue to make the same mistakes. Zay McCollum, Aaron Stinney keep, false starting, like those types of things. Like you just can't have that. So that definitely has to be corrected. I don't know, where you
Not
find
after
that.
this season.
No, I mean, I don't know where Jason Light goes out and finds that, but I think where it does start, like I said in the beginning of the show, it starts at the head coach spot.
Yeah.
Like the head coach has to be that guy that controls the locker room as well and make sure these guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and also maintaining that the staff is being held accountable. Yeah, exactly.
Right, but that's the voice trickles down all the way down, right?
Yep.
So if you get a coach that makes it easier for the players to understand what the hell they're supposed to do. Yes,
Right.
Todd Bowles does all these crazy blitzes and everything, but how much easier would it be if you were saying, okay, we're going to blitz Devin White a lot.
Mhm.
Send him in, make his decision making that much easier. Listen here, safety or corner. If he's going in, they have this many stacked on one side. Okay, safety, you're going to step in. If they don't have that many stepped in, corner,
Mhm.
shade over to his gap he's leaving. You got to make it easier on these guys. Or maybe the communication's down. Maybe people are trying to make up for everyone, but that is the issue. And you got to make it easier on these guys to understand what the hell they have to do. Because yes, they can fly all around, but if they're flying the wrong way, like we said before about Devin White, gold jacket my ass. He's going a million miles an hour, but sometimes it's the wrong way.
Mhm.
uh, so you just got to think it faster. And if they're not knowing where to be, these misassignments is where it's at. And it's not, and that's trickled down from the top. You're practicing every damn time, all day, every day. No, practicing the wrong things. Clearly, simplify. You did it against the
Mhm.
Titans, and look what happened. And then you go back to your same shit.
Yeah.
I mean, but yes, to me, leadership, what JPP and Sue had, it was not just confidence, fiery, rah guys. It was guys that knew what the hell they had to do.
Mhm.
And then if they got mad, they'd tell you what to do, get in your damn face and be like, no, you need to do this. Because if we
Yeah.
don't, we're going to freaking lose this game. Like,
Mhm.
how much of an influence he had on Golson? Golson turned into a different individual
Yeah.
when Sue came into town. We just don't have that no more. And it is glaring. Who's going to get it? Once there's better leadership and letting them know what the hell you're supposed to do, and that one guy that's smart understands it, will
Mhm.
start showing it off. I mean, it's almost like what Hardy Nickerson was from way back when. He was the enforcer, the rah leader from back in the day, and then Brooks and Sapp Lynch took all over. But he was like the initial guy. Did we go out and find one of those? We'll see.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's what Jason Light has to look at and see where, can he find the right guy to be that head coach? Obviously, we're looking, the hot names are going to be Ben Johnson. You're going to look at, Brian Johnson from the Eagles. You're going to look at Bobby Slowick from Houston. Frank Smith is a guy I really like. I like that guy that has that kind of O-line background, tight end background, kind of like a Dan Campbell. He's worked with Sean Payton. He's worked with John Gruden, now Mike McDaniel. So he has good experience from, elite offenses. And I think he could be that guy where he's the CEO. It just depends like who's his staff going to be. And that's going to be the question with all these guys. Like who can they bring in as far as defense coordinator
Yeah.
to really make that side of the ball good? But yeah, it will be interesting because there's going to be 7 to 10 jobs for openings, and can the Bucs present a good place to be? And obviously, I think that starts with Jason Light in the front office. I think any head coach would love to work with him and his staff, because guess what? They're gonna get you guys that fit your scheme, and at least they think, right? The coach has to use them properly, and that just hasn't happened so far, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if you think about it, we have going way back. We've just been getting a lot of retreads. We went Lovey Smith. Or think about Greg Schiano,
Right.
right? Lovey Smith. I guess they tried something crazy with Greg Schiano. Lovey Smith.
Mhm.
Then Cutter. They were just sticking with the same.
Mhm.
BA, yes, it was a retread, but still, he was very successful when he was there.
Yeah.
And that firm probably was like, okay, if you want to win, you have a team that can win now. Get this guy. Okay, bring in a foundation, and then retread again. Just use Todd Bowles. They need to do a full understanding of how can we develop a today's game offense and a newfound defensive direction, because clearly you're just getting worse.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the feel of like Gruden's last year, not record wise, because they started hot as hell. It was more nothing was getting consistent. They were just getting worse and worse on offense. And then oops, yes, he didn't have the weapons that we have right now. And he was just making the most of what he could do. But hey, they need to figure it out and get a new dynamic change in here.
Yeah, for sure.
And someone was mentioning, what if they did bring back Gruden? I think Gruden is what do they call it? Blacklisted? No, what is it?
Well, he is blacklisted. I mean, they said blackballed, but yeah, for sure. I mean, he's not coming back. I don't think he would come back to play under the Glazers either, or
This
to coach.
will likely be demonetized for us mentioning his name.
Right, probably. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's coming back, especially when the Glazers took him out of the Ring of Honor. So
That was a shit show move.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not going to happen. And I talked to you about retreads. Like if they were going to go that route, I do like Brian Flores and maybe the young man they call Raheem Moore. I would love to see him just get another opportunity, but I don't know if that would be with the Buccaneers.
We go get him.
Yeah, we go get him because we're hungry. But yeah, I don't think that would take place. So, like you said, it's finding a new modern coach, and I think with one of these young offensive minds, I think that's where you have to look at and get the right quarterback to pair him with. I think that's paramount. Get a quarterback that they can build around and put the scheme to make it easy on the quarterback. And obviously, you continue to build the team within that and take advantage of that rookie contract that you're going to have for 5 years.
Yeah, and Charles brings a good point. Ra wasn't ready when he was our head coach.
Yeah, yes, he wasn't.
He was, what, 33, 34 when he got the job?
He was one of the, I think he was the youngest coach in the league. I think he was, I want to say he was like 31. He was pretty young, like the youngest at that time.
I mean, he went from a DB coach to head coach. That is
so quickly.
Hard. Yeah. When DC, wasn't understanding how to control a massive room.
Well, the crazy thing is he was hired to be the defensive coordinator, and then Gruden gets fired, and then they just promoted him straight to head coach. Like it was that crazy because Monty Kiffin left obviously to go coach with his son at Tennessee, and that's kind of what derailed that season. And yeah, it was just too fast. But I like what Raheem has done in the meantime, as far as lately. Like the Rams defense plays good. Like they're tough. They continue to play hard, and he doesn't have the talent that he used to have. So that's a well-coached football team. And he's got a lot more experience.
Yeah, and he was always good in making changes at halftime. He was always good at that. Even though we were losing, we still had a 10-6 season with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, like he did not have the talent this defense has. He made the most of it, and he would change things around. You'd see turnovers. You'd see things happen. It was just he had Josh Freeman.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a whole other thing. Quarterback, coach, continuity plus right there.
Yeah, there was a lot of things against him. I mean, the Glazers weren't going to spend money for him either, because they just spent so much money during Gruden's time. So they weren't really giving him like free agents or anything of that nature. So it was tough. It was a tough job for him. But back to what the chat is saying and all of the people in here, I think offensive coach. So obviously looking for that young mind, even like a Kellen Moore, I think would be a great idea. You know, if you could steal him from Los Angeles, that would be that coach. Yeah, they probably will. They probably, that'd probably be an easy promotion for him, but just someone like that, that's what you're trying to find, and understanding how to attack these teams.
Speaking of, has that option ever worked? Just making your coordinator that stayed head coach, has that ever really worked? Like
we'd have to do some research, but just trying to think of it lately. I mean, obviously it didn't work with Dirk Cutter. Even though Dirk
Bucs, but like anyone,
like
anyone in the chat knows too. Let us know. Like I'm trying to remember. I don't remember a guy that was just.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of Mike Holmgren. I wonder if Mike Holmgren was an OC before he became head coach for the Packers. I can't remember. Andy Reid maybe, but yeah, I don't know. That's a great thing to look at, and obviously,
off the top of your head, like
yeah,
you can name quarterback scenarios and why things worked out and stuff like that, but like a head coach just stepping in that was an OC or a DC, and then they freaking flat out win. Tomlin?
Yeah, Tomlin. Yeah, I guess Tomlin could be. Tomlin. Well, Tomlin was the DC at Minnesota, and then he got the head coaching job for Pittsburgh. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I think again, it's about finding the right guy. I mean, look at Dan Campbell for Detroit. He wasn't a coordinator.
We love that man.
Yeah, that was our top pick. If BA wasn't in the picture, I think he would have been a great candidate.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just finding that dude that can relate to the whole team, but also give you the dynamic scheme that we're looking for that can put up points, because you got to put up points in this league. That's what it is. I mean, you look at the Bills and the Eagles game yesterday. Overtime, their offense, two quarterbacks going at it, continuing to move the ball and find ways to score, and using their personnel correctly. I think that's the huge factor. That's what you got to find.
I mean, a lot of head coach, it's not, and that's what the thing is. Everyone wants a coordinator. Like,
yeah,
you need a leader. As a head coach, you're leading men. You're leading the team. You're leading the coaches, leading the players. I mean, you're making sure everyone's staying even keel. It's almost like philosophy-wise, you just got to tell your guys what to coach, and then you just let them coach. Then you're just seeing, okay, where are we messing up? I need to fix this area, so I give this a little bit more attention. Oh, they're doing this. I got to give them more attention. That's why Dan Campbell, just because he wasn't a coordinator, he was still a great leader of men. And his philosophy is, we're going to be bigger than you. We're going to be stronger than you. We're going to keep punching it down your throat until it works. And if it doesn't work, we're going to keep trying. And that's what you need, like the enforcer of, oh, my coach is going to be right there with me throughout the fire, and he's going to get my back, right? Yeah. Some of these coaches, like, what was the Jets coach where his eyes were moving all over the place? Like,
oh, Adam Gase, yeah.
Like, supposedly a great mind. Like who said it? The QB school guy said one of the smartest guys he's ever met. Great offensive coordinator, great caller, terrible coach. Because I mean, you're doing.
Yeah.
So people got to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go run through a wall for this guy.
Right.
BA had that. He had that player's mentality of like bullshitting. Then I'll get your back, but then I'll make little jabs and make sure you keep going. Like, he could ride that fine line. We need to find a guy like that. Ra was too much of a player's coach when he was here. Too much of the guys. He didn't really hold them accountable. I mean, see, that's why I was just kind of saying, like, just don't go for the best OC, because necessarily it doesn't work. That's probably why Eric Bieniemy didn't really get that many head coaching jobs, because great OC mind.
Right.
How's he talk? How's he communicate in a room?
Yeah. That's why it makes it interesting with like Todd Monken. Like, he might just be just a great play caller.
Yeah.
But when you hear him talk, obviously that gets you, like, it gets you motivated, gets you amped up, because he really talks in a clear way and really explains things as far as the offense goes. But will he have that vision as a head coach and really be able to, delegate as far as for a team and put things in the right position, make the right calls? So yeah, I'm not too sure on that one. And that's where the the interview process comes in. It's about finding that right guy. So far, the little research that I have done, I really do like Ben Johnson, and I really do like Frank Smith from Miami. The way he talks about process and details, that gets me hyped. That gets me hyped for sure. But again, it's a long way to go. The Buccaneers at 4-7. We'll see how this season plays out and see what happens. And then once the season ends, then we can start evaluating pretty much everything and see what will be the right moves to move forward with. But yeah, right now it's just not good. It's a mess.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, there are plenty of pieces to use.
Oh yeah.
And realistically, the holes aren't that vast. It's not like the cupboard's bare. You
Mm-mm.
can use a lot of the pieces. I mean, you're gonna have to coax Mike Evans and Avante to come back.
Right.
It's tough. Or maybe you're just like, it also matters our draft position.
Mm-hmm.
Staying with Todd Bowles, does he just shoot this thing straight into the ground?
Yeah.
And we get a top 5 pick? That is very alluring for a new potential head coach. Oh, I can get my guy at the top of
Yeah.
the draft. It's a
Yep.
pretty damn good quarterback draft. I would want a high pick like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then yeah, based on this year was the year to pay off the credit card. Now we're slowly going to a portion of the time where we can start spending a little bit.
Yep.
We'll see, right? And to me, it's not. You got the sales tax. No, that's big. That's serious business, though. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what Tyreek Hill did, right? He's like, forget this. I'm going to Miami.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's important. There's a lot of, there's a lot of building pieces here. I think any head coach should be happy to work with. I think, and this is what I was going to mention earlier, but if you get the certain head coach that would fit with maybe, a Justin Fields, a Justin Fields that could come available, and a guy that can put him in a position to work well with a Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And that's really going to be the deciding factor. Who's the next head coach going to be to bring these guys back? And then also it opens up options for maybe going after another free agent quarterback. Do they make a trade for like you know, I don't think they would, for like a Kirk Cousins. I think he's just a little bit too old right now. I think they want to build younger. But again, he could be someone you look at, Justin Fields as well, who's young, still has a lot of potential, just has been in a very bad situation. And maybe you bring him into a better situation. Maybe it works, and then you can really use those other draft picks on other positions to build the team, to help you out.
I mean, a lot of question marks.
Yeah.
But there's one thing you can say consistently: the Bucs will attempt to be in every game and likely lose them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can agree with that. I think again, the process is going to stay the same, which means mistakes are going to continue to reoccur, and it's just going to be the same show pretty much every week. Now, this week it might look different. They're just way better than the Panthers, but Panthers will be motivated, right? They got a new head coach in Sherm, so they're going to.
Time?
Yep, they're going to put their best foot forward. That's for sure. But I mean, Bucs should blow them out of the water. I mean, they have no offense line, like no offense line. Kalijah Kancey could have 5 sacks. I think it would be a shame if he doesn't. They're that bad. But can we score? Who knows? Like that'll be always the question.
No, their defense is actually loaded with talent.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, across
so it'll be a 12-9 game.
Ew.
Yeah.
At least it would be better weather. It's not scalding hot.
Yeah, and I just remembered this game is at 4:00. So if you guys are going to the game, it's 4:25 or no 4:05 start on Sunday. Which I don't know why they did that, but they moved us to a 4:00 start to showcase I think it was the Texans and Colts game or something like that. So whatever.
Yeah. It's a mess. I need to get that on my soundboard again.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, guys, it's going to be a long off season, but with the bad comes the good, and it's almost fun in that way where you get to start looking for guys. Even when we're looking for OCs, the longest damn road of our lives looking for one. But yeah, when your top guy goes, it sucks, right? Yeah. And then I guarantee that's what happened. They went all in for Todd Monken. He said, "Hell no, you're going to get fired. I'll take your job later."
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. All right. Well, I won't bring it up again, Krillin. He's like, no Fields or Cousins. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping they draft a quarterback. I think it's time to take another shot in the draft and get, you hope, a guy that can be with you long term moving forward, and hopefully find the right guy. It's about finding the right guy. It doesn't matter where it is. You just got to find the right guy that can make the offense go, make it work. So hopefully they can do that. That's what's going to make this offseason just a whirlwind. There's going to be a lot of things to talk about. And Curlin wants Michael Penix Jr., I guess. I guess that's what he's meaning. MPJ. I like Penix. He's got a heck of an arm, man. That guy can throw it. Like he can throw it anywhere.
I thought he
Just
misplaced the J. Should have put the J in the middle.
yeah, MJP, right? Yeah. I love Penix, and we'll talk about quarterbacks for sure as we get closer to the offseason. But right now, it looks like change is coming, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this stream, be sure to hit that like button. We appreciate all the support. Again, subscribe if you're not a subscriber to us. We're trying to keep moving this subscriptions up and trying to come out with some new content, and that will be definitely this off season for sure, with draft coverage and pretty much everything we can try to bring you guys. We're going to try to do it, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Other than that, guys,
we're close in. Zoomed in there. Yeah. Got
yeah. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Let us know what you think about it. Who your candidates that you want, who you want us to look at. Yeah, we're still going to do our film studies and everything, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of the same voice of reason. Like it's missed opportunities, draw passes, and then defense. Just I don't know.
Yeah.
Do not know.
Yep, exactly right, Mark. And yeah, so guys, hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Again, we're going to be live pretty much every Monday moving forward, 9:15, and try to do some new things moving forward. But the consistent basis will be the film. So look forward for that. Hopefully, probably tomorrow we'll have some film. Not sure what we're going to do yet, offense or defense. It's both hard to watch, but we'll put it out there for you so you guys can see exactly what is going wrong or maybe right. Maybe we'll throw some positives in there. But anyway, hope you guys all enjoy. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving as well. Yep. And everyone have a great week and go Bucs. And we'll see what change is going to bring us this year. So see you later. Good night.